Fellow Kenyans, a few days ago, the World Health Organization warned that despite the seemingly slow pace of infections in Africa, the number of coronavirus cases could surge from just thousands to 10 million within 3 to 6 months. While this is a projection, it might as well be the reality in the coming days. Consider that this past week alone, we have seen significant changes of infections in our own neighborhood, where the COVID-19 cases in Somalia have multiplied 9-fold in a single week, from 26 cases on April 13th to 237 by yesterday. In our neighboring Tanzania, the numbers have swollen 7-fold, from 32 cases to 254 within the same period. These developments concern us. They might translate into frightening reality for the Horn of Africa. While what we are learning is that this virus transmits silently. Initially, it may move at a slow pace, but as we have also seen in countries such as Spain and Italy, it takes on such frantic speed that even the most developed of nations cannot catch up with it. Between March 18th and 25th, a span of 1 week, the cases in Spain grew 5-fold, from 11,741 to 50,019. Given these realities, the general sentiment of comfort we are witnessing is severely misplaced. When we as a nation are complacent, with a few officials exploiting this pandemic for personal gain, or conversely, the idea that we can break curfews and not suffer any ramifications, then we know that we are heading in the wrong direction. And indeed, there is nothing to celebrate when runaway impunity takes place at the risk of all of us. As a government, our planning and actions are informed by global trends and our own analysis. A slight lapse in behavior, like the ones we have witnessed in the last few days, could roll back the gains we have made so far, and by implication, the destiny of our nation. The days when everything was left to the government are long gone. This disease is now calling for our total and divided commitment and unity. While I appreciate and acknowledge the cooperation by many Kenyans, I must say that there are a few Kenyans who deliberately rebuke the efforts that we have put in place to contain the spread of the virus. Our daily update briefings have served to rally Kenyans to their individual responsibilities, while at the same time painting the picture of our situation. And this is not just in Kenya, it is a global practice today. It is therefore unfortunate that some naysayers have dismissed our data briefings as mere daily ledgers. Elsewhere, the disease has thrived on similar cloud of silence and ignorance, and which we are being pushed to adopt. We refuse to sit back, and we will continue to inform Kenyans of our situation and measures they need to continuously take in order to flatten our curve. Regarding mass testing, the exercise is ongoing, targeting high-risk areas, which include healthcare workers. We currently have 25,000 testing kits which have been deployed for this activity. Globally, every country is working on testing targets or have fallen short of these targets because of global disruption of supplies. Our plan is to conduct 250,000 tests by the end of June. However, this 250,000 will not match our population. Hence, we are collaborating with our development partners to ramp up our surveillance testing mechanisms. The plan entails community-based surveillance, hospital-based surveillance, and population-based surveillance. For the community-based surveillance, we are working at about 100,000 households. For the hospital-based surveillance, we have mapped out 20 hospitals in 16 regions. All this is being done under the overarching 5-year public health security framework that we have worked out. Our coronavirus response is therefore nested on this policy. The challenge we have over and above corona is to keep an eye on the other healthcare challenges. I therefore want to call on all counties to ensure continuity of health services without losing sight of the corona epidemic. We should therefore be prepared in the coming days to share our county health service delivery scorecards. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Kenyans, in times such as this, we have to be alive to the effect that COVID-19 management measures, what these measures have had on our people. We are particularly concerned about mental health. Towards this end, we have established a psychiatric and psychological care help framework over this period. If you feel distressed and needing counseling or psychological care, please call 1199 and you will be attended to. For any inquiries on continuity of psychological care or psychiatric emergencies or crisis, please call our hotline, which will be distributed to the media. Today, we have looked at the unfolding situation in Mandera County. So far, the county has 8 cases, the latest being 2 cases of urban refugees. Now, this is a dangerous situation because, as you are well aware, Mandera has a lot of is a corner county with neighbors on 2 sides, and is also affected by travel from other parts of the country. Therefore, as part of the containment measures, the government has today directed restriction of movement into and out of Mandera County. The county, therefore, becomes the 5th county where movement has been restricted. Today, having tested 707 samples, we have 7 persons who have tested positive to the disease, those being Kenyans as a whole. We don't have any foreigners in those figures. And I would like to state, kama vile nilisema, hii ugonjwa si ugonjwa wa serikali, hii ni ugonjwa wa kila mtu. Na kama mjuavyo, kuna wale ambao hawaogopi, na yule ambao haogopi atakuja kuogopa, kwa sababu hii ugonjwa haina tajiri, haishagui tajiri, haishagui kijana, haishagui yoyote. Kila mtu anaweza kushikwa na hii ugonjwa. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema wale ambao wanasaidia sisi sana ni wale ambao wanafuata sheria ile tumetoa, mipango ile tumetoa. Hao ndio wanasaidia sisi kama Wakenya. Lakini mjue ya kwamba wale ambao hawafuati, wale ambao mnaona wakiruka wakitoka kwa quarantine facilities, hao watu ni kusema wanataka kutoka huko waingie vijijini wapeleke ugonjwa huko vijijini. Ukiona mtu akiruka ni vile mnajua wale wengine walifanya. Mnajua kuna watu walienda mazishi upande wa Malindi kule Kilifi, ugonjwa ukaanza. Wengine wakaenda mikutano, ugonjwa ukaanza. Hapa Isili tulikuwa na imam, alikuwa hajui yeye ni mgonjwa, akaja akafariki. Wale ambao walikuwa na yeye karibu wamepata hii ugonjwa. Kawangware iko watu wengi, walianza na mtu moja, wakaenda 3, wakaenda wengine 2, na tunaendelea kufanya testing huko tuone ni wangapi pengine. Ukiangalia kule Mombasa upande wa KPA vile hii ugonjwa inaendelea kuchika watu. Kwa hivyo jameni, mimi ningewasihi wa Kenya tusije tukasikiliza wale ambao ni lazima waseme mambo mambaya, mambo maovu kwa wale ambao wanafanya hii kazi, kwa mimi mwenyewe, kwa wale wengine. Msije mkasikiza hao watu. Mimi ningewasihi tuendelee kusikia vile serikali inasema, kwa sababu hii kazi ya kupigana na hii virusi si kazi yetu kama serikali. Hii ni kazi ya kila Mkenya. Na wewe ukijisikia, ukiona kama sio wewe, ukiona kama hii si kazi yako, basi wewe umeanza kukosea. Wakati unasikia wewe hiyo sio kazi yako, umeanza kukosea, kwa sababu hii ni kazi yako. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu hii ni ugonjwa wetu. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu hii ugonjwa inaweza shika wewe, na ikishika wewe, basi wewe utalete hiyo ugonjwa kwangu na kwa yule mwingine. Asanteni sana. Shemtai, I don't think we had a question. The one for the DG? I think for me, I am going to respond to the issue of KMTC briefly. I think most of those questions were technical questions that Dr. Amoth can answer. On KMTC, and by the way, it is not just KMTC. Let me explain. It is not just in KMTC that people have escaped from quarantine. In fact, Mandela was the first place where people escaped from quarantine. And I would like to agree that it is not possible for people to simply walk out of an institution that has got security forces, that has got people charged with the responsibility of ensuring that people stay within the quarantine facilities. But more importantly, it is very difficult to fathom how an individual who knows very well they are not in prison. Quarantine facilities are not prison facilities. You have been kept there, or you have been quarantined so that you can protect yourself